Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Greenlight Cinema. I'm Brandon Pacheco, and today I'm talking about The Many Saints of Newark. This is a Brandon Pacheco's review and discussion, and I just I felt like this needed a little bit of reviewing, this movie's actually out on HBO Max and in theaters now. I streamed it on HBO. First, before we get into this film, it was just great, wonderful. I'm a big cinematography buff, and I really loved the atmospheric feel to this film. It felt very and sounded and just looked so 60s. And I grew up watching like a bunch of, old 60s Steve McQueen films and seeing, The Rookies and shows like Adam 12. So I'm kind of used to like, what some of this should and shouldn't look like. And I really got lost in this. It was a very, very much a very authentic period piece. This movie was so interesting because it was like The Sopranos about being The Sopranos.
We are a family. And even in this fucked up day and age, that means something.
Grandma just called. Started crying and hung up.
She needs a purpose in life.
No, your mother is tougher than you think.
So what, no fucking ZD now?
You know, everybody thought Dad was the ruthless one, but I gotta hand it to you. If you'd been born after those feminists, you would have been the real gangster.
Mr. Sensitive now.
We didn't get like a total exploitation of Tony's character, which I really appreciated. And spoilers, I don't want to get into a whole lot, but we don't really see Tony, like Michael Gandolfini's Tony anyway, until like 50 minutes into the film, I want to say. And I wasn't too thrown off by that. I felt like this kid really did a great job. Michael Gandolfini, oh my gosh. Whoa! He killed it. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get into this review in this movie. It's narrated by Christopher Moltisanti, and if you're not a Sopranos fan, or if you're a Sopranos fan, it's fine because he gives away everything in The Sopranos, which is great. Most of us fans anyway. The show's been out since 1999 to 2007. But it's gathered a really big following, and I really got into it during the pandemic more than anything, and so I really was looking forward to this movie. I wanted more. There should have and could have been more to this film, but I think I've heard that David Chase might be doing some type of 5-year thing with Warner Brothers, so I'm eager to see what that builds into. I don't want to give a whole lot about this, but this was like really the Moltisanti story. And as I said, we have Christopher Moltisanti narrating it and kind of taking us through beat by beat of a little bit of things that we know. And we see that Tony and Dickie are tight right away. And I believe that we don't really know how old Tony is, but he doesn't look like he's much older than 12 or so. Maybe he's very young.
Okay.
It's about some Jewish girl in the night, and Robin Hood's in it.
I know they had Jews back in the Middle Ages.
Well, the Bible.
Anyway, your mother asked me to talk to you.
And it's so interesting watching him absorb like all this like adult stuff and situations. Very interesting. But getting into it though, it's a pretty simple story, I guess. It felt almost like a Sopranos episode. David Chase hasn't lost his touch. It was interesting. So Ray Liotta is playing, I don't know what his Moltisanti name is, but he is Dickie's father. There's a little bit of conflict, but Ray Liotta is playing himself and also his brother, which I thought was a little odd and kind of took me out of the film, but not too much entirely. They held that storyline together very interestingly, because, Ray Liotta, he's asking him, you doing your good deed?
I'll be honest with you. I want to do a good deed.
And kind of messing with him. It's almost like he knows every little thing about Dickie, without Dickie telling him anything. And Dickie, by the way, if no one's very familiar with Sopranos, Christopher was a huge hothead.
With the Russian guy?
Christopher, I am fucking warning you.
There he goes, Mr. Type A personality.
We are here to talk about you killing yourself with drugs, not my fucking personality.
That's right. I'm gonna kill myself? The way you fucking eat, you're gonna have a heart attack by the time you're 50. Oh, sit down.
You're talking to the boss here.
Mother, fuck you, you fucking whore.
And just extremely wild, but like we loved that character for some odd reason. But Dickie was a little bit more charismatic and just kind of like his own, and kind of had a swagger to him in a way. It was very interesting, very different than Christopher. Everyone was so real and authentic. Dickie looked a whole lot more like Christopher than I expected he would. Like in the trailer, I was like, I don't know if I buy this being his dad. No, I buy this for real being Christopher's dad. This is well wrote. I really love how they told this story. The beach scene when they were eating in the restaurant kind of made me laugh a little bit. It took me out of the film, but not entirely, because it felt like they filmed this during the pandemic. But, you know, it's kind of built up like, hey, you know, Dickie's got all this money like a Nucky Thompson and Tony Soprano that he can just buy out a restaurant and a beach. So they got the whole beach and the restaurant to themselves. I bought it. I mean, yeah, a little pandemic-ish. But hey, this movie really works. I don't know when they filmed it though. I want to talk about those things. And I was talking about Michael Gandolfini. Oh my goodness. This kid, young man, was very, very good. I mean, like, you know, he was taking on, you know, a character that his father played. And there were some scenes that I was just honestly kind of spooked out on a little bit. I mean, he really carries himself as Tony Soprano. But yeah, you know, I'm really surprised how well this film was done. And just a couple more things for him to review. I mean, you know, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up how great, I believe her name is Barbara Soprano. How, I don't know who was playing her. Oh, wow, did she remind me of the older woman in the original show.
Mr. Sensitive now. Well, if it bothers you, maybe you better talk to a psychiatrist.
Mr. Soprano?
This was the performance of a lifetime. I was like, okay, pretty spot on. And I want to say real quick about Tony. I loved how we got to see a more innocent side to Tony than what we were probably expecting. And I liked it, you know, I'm going to give out this as a spoiler. He robs the ice cream truck, and in the trailer, it looks way more intense than it is. But it really wasn't. And it was just a great scene. He's giving out, he's like, if you tell anyone about this, he's like, we'll get you for this. And all of a sudden, cut to, he's giving out ice cream to kids. I was like, yes, this is the Tony Soprano that I remember and know a little bit. Because he was very lighthearted. I remember Carmela saying that Tony's larger than life. And I felt that larger than life presence in this film without it being overly saturated with Tony. It was a great story. Great movie. I really highly recommend this movie. They show Carmela, but I'm not even sure if she even spoke or anything. And I was fine with that. Like, you know, leave the beloved characters alone. So, but we see Tony building into something. We see him building in pretty much into the man that we know him as. Almost. And then it's got a very stylistically ending to David Chase stuff where it just abruptly cuts off. I literally did not believe it was the end, and I paused it and I was like, no. And it was bizarre because it was a way different story, and I'm not going to get into spoilers here. I'm just saying we got a way different story in the show than from what we got to see on this movie. And my lips are sealed, that's all I'm saying. I'm so impressed with this. I really can't wait to see what else David Chase comes up with. I've been very impressed with The Sopranos. I'm going to go back and rewatch Sopranos. Maybe even do reviews. I'm not even sure. I didn't know if it was too late in the game to do. If anyone wants me to do any Sopranos reviews or talk about some episodes, I'd be totally willing to go down a list of episodes of some I like. But overall, it was such a well done movie. This movie is just perfectly formulated to just, if you're not a Sopranos fan, but if you just want to see something new, and you kind of know a little bit about the show, it's perfect. Or if you're a big fan, it's perfect. It left me wanting more, but you know, I want to end the review with this. I want to give this movie 2 thumbs up. Please check this movie out. I have nothing but great things to say about it, and I don't want to give too much away. I will say that Paulie wasn't what I wanted him to be, but you know, this isn't the Paulie Walnut story or The Sopranos again. This is, you know, the Many Saints of Newark. It was his own story without being away from The Sopranos, and I liked that. It kept most of the beats of the show. This felt like actually watching just, you know, a 2-hour special of Sopranos, really, but just told, you know, in a prequel stylistically. Alright, that's my review. I don't want to give out too much, but I hope you guys will please check out this film, and I hope that you guys like this episode. Alright guys, that's my review for this, and I hope that you guys will please enjoy this and check out the Many Saints of Newark film. Please check out John and I's new Halloween episode coming up soon. It's gonna be spooktacular. Ooh, I'm the only one in the set. Alright guys, bye.